As we've talked about before, there's a lot of different damage that we see, and so I'd like to show you a couple of examples of the different types of things that we might come into contact with. So for example, a lot of the stress in books comes from the action of opening and closing it. And so we can see, for example, with this book, that the covers have come completely detached from the remainder of the book, which I can demonstrate to you here. As you can see. And obviously that is not particularly good for the structure of the book. One example of a book that we, like this, with the covers attached, that we have been able to put back together is this one. In this case, the spine was completely missing. The book needed to be completely resewn from its disbound state, and now it is again a functional object that can be opened and closed without fear of further damage to the structure of the book. Another sort of common type of damage that we see, in particular with the type of materials that we're seeing, catalogs, guidebooks, maps, etc., where a lot of the stress is on the fold of the paper, we see a lot of splits along those folds that need to be repaired before further treatment can be done. And so you can see, for example, with these illustrated magazines from the Paris World's Fair in 1900, that all of the folds are completely split. You can see as well that there is sewing thread remaining from the original binding, and as in addition, that to secure these loose pages, they have stapled through to provide some sort of structure or attachment for the pages that are loose, which is not ideal. And then finally, we can see an example of two identical copies of a Rand McNally look at the World's Columbian Exposition. So this first one here is one that has not yet been treated. You can see that the cover has come detached, that the spine is quite weak, the adhesive that was on it has deteriorated, and you can see the gaps in between the pages there. And you can also see this detached piece of the cover. With this one here, we've successfully strengthened the spine by placing a new layer of paper underneath the cover on the spine, and then replacing all of those fragments that you saw, for example, on this untreated book back in place, so that everything is consolidated and in a stable shape prior to being scanned. And so this is the sort of the state that we're looking to achieve, is a cohesive object that they'll be able to stand up to the rigors of scanning and won't have any adverse consequences as a result.